Well, folks, I said I'd pop on and have a chat with you live regards to the appointment of Brendan Rodgers, where the club's going beyond the summer and where we're going next season and for the next 3 years under the new gaffer. So do pop in, get the comments in. I know there's loads of podcasts after being on today, other channels chatting about it, and obviously it's gonna be the talk of the town for the next week until we see him obviously doing his doing his press conference, outlining what's going on, what's his vision for the team as well. Like it's all right to put up on a statement, but when you're actually chatting to the media and chatting to fans, like I'm quite surprised that Celtic actually haven't put out a video yet of Brendan talking. So I said I pop on. I'm not too bad, Chris, and yourself. I hope you're doing well. Get a couple of questions in. You're more welcome. There's 31 people that's at the jumping in, so I know he's going to ask me the very similar questions, and I'll answer them truthfully as well. So always like the flag in the background. Ange is on it, but you know what? I wanted to cover over Ange because it's a new regime, and I wish Ange all the best in his new chapter down in the EPL. Watching him from Spain, my brother, and Brendan, we trust. Okay, I'm not gonna shy away from it. Like if you asked me 6 weeks ago, imagine I'm Brendan Rodgers back at Celtic, I would have been laughing. I'd be like, not a chance. He wouldn't come back to Celtic. And I think the whole him with Leicester going down, and I know he left Leicester back in was it back in March or April? Well, it was even earlier than that. I think it was March. Dean Smith took over. It was it's bound that he wanted to come back and make a statement because the way he left obviously still leaves a taste in some fans' mouths, and I don't blame the frustration from some fans that they feel like the club should done something better. At the end of the day, that the club are not thinking of what we're investing; they're just thinking of the best man in charge so they can win a success at the same time. It really is a head scratcher. To be honest with you, I think he's the best man for the job. 7 out of 7 says a lot. Exactly, Tommy. It does say a lot. And it wasn't even just a case. It was like we were invincible. We went 69 games unbeaten. And some of the games we played, yeah, it did end against Hearts 4-0 at Tynecastle. But it made us stronger. We went on to do a double treble. A double treble. He is the man, and this is what I'm trying to get across to the people that are watching tonight that are against the appointment. Tell me the reasons why you're against his appointment. Not because of what happened 4 years ago. Tell me here and now why is his CV and his football not right for Celtic? This is what I want to know. Because take the emotions away, put as the football perspective. Agree, didn't think it would happen. Stranger things have happened in football. To be honest with you, I had a feeling about 2 weeks ago it was going to happen. A family member of mine works in a hotel up in the West End, and he sent me a message saying that Roger's been up a couple of times staying in the hotel, and I didn't believe in into anything. And then another friend of mine was speaking to Scott Brown in Orlando when Celtic won the treble, and he said if Ange leaves, this was at the time if Ange leaves, Rogers will be back in the door. And that's when I said on the Monday, I done the video on the Monday. I was like, I think Rodgers will be the favourite, and it's quick how much it escalates. We ain't really that brilliant in Europe. Exactly, and that's it. That's the level we have to move up to. Like it's we can be dominant in domestic football, and most Celtic fans will. You look at the likes of landscape of English football where you have that teams being successful in Conference League, doing well in Europa League, doing well in the Champions League, like City win the Champions League. The finances are much superior in English football, as we all know. But for a fan base like Celtic, you would expect for the history that we have of winning that European Cup, we could even do what we done with Neil Lennon, that Barcelona result when we ended up getting through with the likes of beating Spartak Moscow as well in that group, getting into the last 16. I know Juventus was a nightmare, but we haven't won a knockout tie of football in nearly 20 years now. Like that is crazy to think. Like that's in even the Europa League as well. Like we're going back to Seville, well past Seville was the last time we actually done on we were last beaten. What was it? Villarreal 2004 quarterfinals of the UEFA Cup. Yeah, we all knew Ange was going to go. To be honest, which is like the whole situation with Ange. You just knew with the never walk alone at the end of that cup final that he was gonna move on. He was gonna move on. I'm not even watching the Ireland game, to be honest. I don't. I'm not even bothered watching the stream. I just like forget about it. It's only Gibraltar anyway. I'm not a fan of Stephen Kenny. I think Stephen Kenny needs to go. He's a shocking manager. He's brutal with the media. I think he's out of touch. He's not good enough for the Ireland job. He had his couple of terms and Ireland haven't progressed. He had one good performance against France, but we didn't get a result at the end of the day. Do you think Koyogo will leave? I don't think Hyoga will leave this. I don't think Hyoga or the Japanese boys will leave. I think if there is one Japanese boy that will leave, will be Atate. No. Did I watch Scotland? I didn't watch Scotland. I didn't watch the Scotland game. No. Obviously the highlights of it. Um, I think Hyogo seems quite content at Celtic, and it's just what depends what Brendan is going to weigh. Is he going to play him as obviously still the front man? Is he still going to give him loads of game time? Would he prefer all ahead of him? Like it's like Kyogo's at the scoring 30 odd goals this season, so it'd be very hard to start all ahead of him. But Brendan may have plans himself to get another striker in. Time will tell. Time will tell. If you put a price tag on the likes of Kyogo and Atate, you put a price tag at the moment on Kyogo with the landscape of football, especially if Ange and Spurs are looking at him, you put a 30 million price tag on Kyogo. Simple as that. He has Champions League experience, Europa League experience. Yes, they might think the Scottish Premier League and the other cups you play in are Mickey Mouse cups in their eyes, but stats sell everything, at the end of the day. Moyeda, I'm a fan of Moyeda. I think Moyeda is very underrated by Celtic fans. Like, at the end of the day, every player has their good days and their bad days, but Moyeda is a workhorse, an absolute workhorse up that pitch. Yes, he wasn't clinical in the Champions League group stages. He took a lot of stick for that. So was most of the players. 54 chances I think we had on target the whole group stage last year. We didn't convert many goals, did we not? 10-1 for the treble. I won't even think of the treble. I know I've been saying it and all. I just want to just get Brendan fully in the door, like as in see his press conferences, see him doing preseason training, seeing us bring out our kits, seeing us playing our Asian tour, start getting players in, start getting the deadwood out, and start moving forward. There's players that I'm thinking to myself, Soros due back, Soro will be gone. Yeti should be gone. Hazard will probably go. Bain will probably go. Barkas is gone. Mikey Johnson, question mark. Liam Scales, I'll keep. I think he has a point to make. Is he better than Vardy? Vardy's in his late 30s. Vardy's an absolute cracking player. He was, Premier League winner. Jamie Vardy, you have to give him the credit where he's at, but I wouldn't touch him now. He's a bit. Who's your Celtic bring in? I'd be gone honest truth with you. I actually don't know. I really don't know. Like, it's a hard one to say. Like, I won't be touching James McLean anyway. People are saying, like, I put up a picture of James McLean for his 100 cap and saying, bring James McLean. I was like, that ship well sailed. You know, Bain didn't sign that contract. It wasn't confirmed by the club. There was the night of that Brownie and Lustig thing. There was talks that he signed a 3-year deal. It was never confirmed. Never confirmed. We obviously have secrets as well. So the whole situation with Joe Hart, like, what do you think of Brandon coming back? I think it's a good appointment, to be honest. I think it's the appointment that Celtic should have been going for anyway. He was available. He has unfinished business, and there's only one way to prove these fans that are negative about him come in and win games and win trophies and make history again. That's the only way you can get you win people over. Like he won't always be labeled as a snake in a rat, because I think people are going over the top with it. But I'm delighted that they come back in, and I wish him the best. I think people need to move on from the past and look to the future. And the way you look to the future is having confidence in the team, the management. You know, I don't think it'd be right to pull up banners about how you feel about Brendan Rodgers, especially if he's after taking a job. Like, obviously there's people out there that just don't like him, and I can respect that. We all have opinions, you know. We've been linked with a couple of players, but I'll start doing transfer videos soon enough. I just wanted to get the whole Rodgers thing over the line first. We all love Rodgers the first time around. No footballing job is the second time, but he'll bring us. Well, that's the thing. He might have the hunger now because of what the way he left. He might have the hunger. You know, like obviously it was exciting times when he first came in, and the way there was like 13,000 fans in the stand when he was welcome to Celtic Park and stuff like that. But like football's a strange world. It's a business. I think he will stay for 3 years. And that's no question about it. I think he will stay for 3 years. I think they'll put a plan in place where they'll have a replacement in place when he's leaving. And I wouldn't be surprised the club are talking to Brendan before that. I know they're obviously the reports came out last week. They were in Mallorca and stuff like that. I wouldn't be surprised. As I said, he's been up here a couple of times. He was at the Cup semi final. There was talks of Ange talking to Spurs and his agents, and his team were talking to Spurs from February when Conte was still there. So I would not be surprised, you know. Hey, John, how are you keeping? Fairness to Aldi. Who's Aldi? I think, to be honest, I think he'll have a more. I think there should be a proper transfer committee as well. Like, and I think it should be his signings. Like, this is the first time in a long time Celtic have offered a manager. You know, when they appoint him a long-term deal. It's been a while. Like I know Lenny obviously came in, winged it, and then he got offered a deal. But like 3 years is a good enough. It's not too long. It's not too short. I think it does the job. You know, Leeds were looking at him because Leeds know that he's a good manager, and to be honest, I don't think he was going to go to the championship, even though he managed in the championship already with Swansea City and got them up and stuff. But yeah, Leeds have money. Money talks, regardless what league you're in. You know, look at the like of Wrexham. Wrexham are getting some decent players, and now they're in League Two. So that's what happens in football. Any other questions? Lawwell will get involved. He has a non-executive decision because he's the non-executive chairman. You know, but obviously he was mentioned in the statement. He commented himself, so of course he's going to be involved. You know, if they give him 30 million to spend, and I'm not talking about 30 million over 3 years. I'm talking about 30 million each season. If you want to go out there and get a striker that's worth 7 to 8 million, go out and buy a striker that caliber. You know, they won't be surprised that he probably hench and try to get people from the likes of the Premier League or the Championship. You know, let's get everyone behind the manager, good or bad. Exactly. There's no point to being negative about it. Like, there's nothing to be negative. We're at the win a treble. We're in the Champions League. The club's in a good financial um, status, and people are still moaning about Brendan Rodgers coming in. It just shows that the club have a bit of character and believe. You know what? Maybe he did get it wrong, and he knows he got it wrong. So let's get behind him. You know, there's no point of this. He's not my manager. Yes, he is your manager. He is going to be your manager. Simple as that. You're supporting Celtic Football Club. The guy that makes the decisions of failing that team is your manager. And stop thinking that he's not your manager. Because if he's not your manager, just don't watch the games. Just don't even bother for the season or for the next 3 years. Like, you know. Do you think Rangers will be harder challenge next season with the new signings? I don't really know, to be honest with you. Obviously, Michael Beale obviously got a bit of a taste of taking over from Gio, which was less than halfway through the season. So it's hard to say. Obviously, Morelos will be gone, Kent's gone, McGregor's gone. I think Arfield might be gone as well. Like, I don't really care what they. I think I don't. They might challenge us. You know, like it was less than double digits for the title. So if we can go out there and just play football and not think about their results and them getting VAR penalties and the way they are, I really just care about just Celtic playing the Brendan Rodgers style of football and Callum conducting himself the best way to be the captain as he is, because it's a lot of pressure next season on us to regain the title, to do a treble again, and to push in Europe. And we need a good squad depth. We really do. You know, like you seen what the problem is with Kyogo. Kyogo gets a bad injury. He's out for like about 6 or 7 games. Sometimes he might shake it off, but we're gonna put it's gonna be a lot of reliance on Kyogo, Abada, Jota, Tate, the whole squad. Even Carter Vickers, you seen how much we missed him, not after reading their tweets. I'll leave them to it. I don't care about Cantwell. I don't care about them. We should be talking about us. I don't understand why they don't want to back Rodgers of what he did, but at the same time, we move on. Like every football club has, ups and downs and surprising chapters in it. Like players that you think that are going to be there for years that go, and it's a shock, and managers come and go. It's a revolving door. It's a business. But as I said, it's a business, and he's back in the door. He's back in the door. Bit of redemption, you know. Get us another title, make it 3 in a row, and get us a Scottish Cup and a League Cup and a good run in Europe. But like, I know we're still saying, why are people not happy? It just if we were second place and we didn't win a trophy this season and we didn't win the treble after he left, and he's after being hired today with that background, I would have been like, well, I can understand where fans are coming from. We still won the treble. We still done it. I know. It just takes time. As I said, time heals wounds. You just have to be optimistic. As I said, I've been posting stuff up on Facebook about it, and there's one of these two people like, no thanks, no thanks. I'm like, how about you just get off me the page if you keep saying no thanks? Like, try to be positive, trying to lift the vibe. Like, yes, he left a bad taste in your mouth, and you just can't forgive. And when we get a winner, when we start winning our first round of games with them, when the fixtures are out, actually the fixtures are out on I think it's the 29th or the 30th of this month. So the season kicks off on the 5th and the 6th of August, by the way, if he's or not. He's not sure. It's not Neil Lennon appointment. It's not a job for the boys. And look at the whole Neil Lennon COVID season was, you know, we tried to forget about it, but that caused me more pain than Rodgers leaving. That whole season did. The way that the club went, the board, not having the fans in there, his press conferences. I love Lenny, but that season he just irritated me, and I'm looking at a bigger perspective. I'm looking at stats wise. I'm not going to let one season tarnish Neil Lennon's reputation. He won 5 league titles as a manager with us. He won a couple of trebles as well, and forget about people forget about that. You know, Jock Stein, Martin O'Neill, Ange Postecoglou, Brendan Rodgers, and Neil Lennon are treble winners. Yeah. Uh, there's been talks already that there was reading an article earlier on that there's talks already that Celtic are not going to entertain offers from Ange. Look, Ange didn't bring his coaching staff with him. John Kennedy's staying. Gavin Strachan's staying. Harry Kill's staying. Stevie Woods is still there. Darren O'Day, Steve McManus. So that just shows that you know the backroom staff are looking forward to the new chapter with Brendan as well. Bale thinks Brendan's a very lucky man. Probably does. Thought Andrew's a very lucky man as well. You know, just got new headphones. Brilliant. Neil Lennon should never got the job. Yes, it was obviously emotional when he got down his knees when we scored. Edward scored, and then the full time whistle. But like, he was given the contract when he was in the shower. And then there's an interview going around where Lawwell comes up and says it, where he's offering Neil Lennon the contract, permanent contract. He should never had it. He should have just came in, done the caretaker job, and walked. I just think Celtic looked as a quick fix. As I said, job for the boys. Would you bring Dembele and Edward back? I don't think. I think Dembele kind of hinted about Brendan anyway before, about the whole Brendan Rodgers thing before he even left. I love Dembele. He's a free agent. I wouldn't take Edward back. Edward thinks he's bigger than most clubs he's played for. And look, he scored his debut for Palace against Spurs and stuff like that. No, I won't take Edward back. We had our memories with Edward. We had our memories with Dembele, but Rodgers and Dembele part two, I don't think it's going to happen. I'd love to see Dembele come back, of course, but it's not going to happen with Rodgers. So Bale's not Brendan's boy in Liverpool. I'm not sure. I think was that not like, was he not like a part of the younger setup with Gerrard at the time? It doesn't really matter. I don't care about Bale. I don't care about Rangers. They don't. They actually literally, there's no threat there, and it won't be a threat next season as well. Because I said they're going through a rebuild, and if we just keep our eggs in their basket and focus on us and getting the 3 points home and away, that's the most important thing. Like, that's the most important thing, and getting through the cups. So, it's going to be a long season as usual, and there's going to be bumps, ups and downs, and we just need to have the confidence. And I think, Callum's at the age of 30 now, and we'll probably get another maybe 3 years, 4 years out of Callum. This could be James Forrest's last season. I know he's a longer contract and stuff like that. He's another 2 years left in his contract, but James, he needs to get back in that squad. And I was going to say, Andrew, I think Brendan will have a look at James and say, well, okay, you need to work on your sharpness. Look at you. You got Scott Brown fitter than ever. Who would you bring back from Brendan's reign? Except from Dembele. Tierney, if you could bring Tierney back, love to see KT come back. You know, Tierney was Tierney was a good baller for Celtic. 14 years from youth up to senior, and people keep thinking, oh, he's a bad kisser. Of course, he's a bad kisser. Like, at the end of the day, he made us 25 million. I don't know why people are moaning about leaving. He's started as a youth from the age of 7, made his way up to the senior team, and I know people are saying he could have stayed to 10 in a row, but we got offered 25 million. Originally, it was 12, and then we held off and took the 25 million, and that's what happened. Paddy Roberts, no, no, no. Paddy Roberts ship has definitely sailed. Would I take Armstrong back? Hmm. Who else? Johansson? No. Well, Johansson was more so. He went pre-season. Brendan. Hmm. Tommy Rogic, free agent after leaving West Brom. Would have taken back a Celtic? Maybe. I know we have the likes of O'Reilly there, Turnbull, Atate, Awate, you know, Wanyama. Wanyama wasn't a part of Brendan's team. Fans need to stop getting emotionally attached to players. It's a business, but that's the same time. But that's what you get when you support Celtic. You have that attachment because we're the best fans of the world, and that's the way it is. Like, you know, Ange's gonna realise when he goes down to Spurs that he won't get that love and affection that he did at Celtic. And I know it's sad to say, but could be sacked by Christmas. The Premier League is a difficult league, and I know the Glasgow Fishbowl, you lose a couple of games, and the heads are calling. How's it going, Uncle? Oh, Nobby Steamboat. He won't go. He won't go in the first 2 years, to be honest with you. I think if he's here for 3 years, I'm sure there's loopholes in the contract. And if he is going to go, I'm sure he'll come out and say he's leaving at the end of the season. He's obviously has the Premier League experience with Swansea, Liverpool, Leicester. I know this sounds like a crazy suggestion, but I think he'll do 3 years at Celtic. I think he'll try to frame up and get the Liverpool job again. And that's my God honest opinion. I think he'll try to go back to Liverpool. if FSG are gone, I think he'll get the Liverpool job in 3 or 4 years' time. Rodgers will. Football's a crazy side, but I want him to obviously do good roles. If Rodgers wanted to manage the Premier League again so badly, he would have taken the Leeds job and went for promotion. Exactly. So he's a Celtic fan. The emotions are running high. He's after getting offered a really good salary, the highest paid manager he's going to be. There was reports that he's meant to be on 3 million a year. I don't know how accurate it is. Well, 3 million a year, 3 year deal. That's a 9 million. 9 million we're playing him for 3 years. Like Premier League, unfortunately, we won't keep long-term managers. Yeah, I think we read that one already. Did we? Did not read? We not Gary Boy. Yeah, I think we read that one as well. Very similar. The comments are, folks. Sorry, looking at that there. How does Brendan win the fans back? Win matches, simple as that. There's no point apologising to people and they're still going to be stubborn about it. That's the God honest truth. The only way you let the results pay off and then they'll win the fans over. These people are claiming that they're angry at Brendan Rodgers and you don't back him as a manager, but they're still going to go to the games. They're still going to walk out and watch the matches. They're still going to support the team. As I said, he is the man that's going to be pulling the strings with the transfers, hopefully, bringing the right players in, using the right formation, attacking football, and winning those trophies. And you still have people saying, "Oh, he's not my manager." He just has to win games. Simple as that. Results will heal the wounds. But this is the thing. I'm gonna put it out straight, which is now I know that we're aiming high here and we're looking at potentially trying to push to get out of the Champions League group or even get Europa League, finish third and go for a good run in Europa League even. It's gonna be his fourth season of his rebuild. I know Ange has left a good squad there, some really good players and stuff like that. Like they're gonna have to change their style of playing for Brendan as well. And it's a lot to ask to win a treble and to get out of the group stage of Champions League, but it's achievable. It's achievable if he gets his head down with his backroom staff. And I'm sure John Kennedy is filling him in with the situation of the players, what standards, their strengths and their weaknesses. Because at the end of the day, Callum McGregor and James Forrest are the only players that he managed out of his current crop of players. It's a lot to ask for a European final. It really is. Like I'll be brutally honest right now. Celtic trying to get to European final, Europa League, it's a lot to ask. Conference League, very similar, a lot to ask. Some really good teams in the Conference League, as we see, we took it for granted. Bodo Glimt gave us a smashing, didn't he? But another 2 more minutes, folks. I'm going to jump off. I'm going to try to do these podcasts with people again shortly. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do press the red button and do subscribe. I know I took 3 months off, not vlogging. I'm back now. I'm trying to get as much videos up as I can. And I appreciate the support. I appreciate the lovely comments over the last 2 weeks. He's saying welcome back. And honestly, it gives me confidence. It gives me so much confidence. Even that just that one person saying it's good to have you back lifts me. Well, I got multiple and it's great. It's great to see. Do you think Jota will be with us much longer? Yeah, I think 2 years with Jota. Like these players are going to move. We need to stop getting attached to these Jotas and these Koyogos. They will go. They will go. And then you'll think in your head, oh, why are they going? Because they're going to try another chapter of their career. It's just a job. It's just a job to them, folks. If they go, they go. No player is bigger than any club. No manager is bigger than any club. And that goes for Brendan, for Ange. Ange left with a treble, but you know, the more I think about it, and I know a lot of people will go against me. The more I think about it, if he was talking to Spurs in February, he should have just came out and said, "I'm leaving. I'm leaving the end of the season. I'm leaving." It's just the way it was done, and it wasn't even panic stations that he left because we knew that his contract was coming to an end anyway, and we got 5 million from it. But it's just the way he snubbed it off. And if you haven't seen the Rod Stewart interview with Talksport, like I'm sure, like even with Desmond and Lawwell and Nicholson, even in the Scottish Cup final, they didn't look impressed at all. You and yourself, Brendan, getting back to work. That's it. Whatever you want me to cover on the channel, I'll try. I know one is I've asked for the for treble captains. I'm looking at the Billy McNeils, the Scott Browns, the Callum McGregors, the Paul Lamberts, the Tom Boyds. We'll be talking about that season as well in detail. So I will start getting things in place, folks. Just be patient with me the way he's were for the last 3 months. When I was off, my subscribers actually didn't go down. It went up. So I will get to the level where I'll get motivated doing it the way I used to talk on the channel. I'll put a video up talking about the new home kit that's been leaked from Footy Headlines. So have a look at that video of me explaining the home kit if you haven't seen it yet. Talking about the away kit as well, the review there. So yeah, players, managers will always pick the Premier League over. Yeah, because there's money. It's money, and it's more of a competitive league, and there's better stadiums in it as well. And there's like standard of football is better, unfortunately. They won't get the love and affection that they do at Celtic, and that's the God honest truth. I'll just There's only a handful of special clubs out there, and Celtic are in that handful. You know, like I said, will never change until Celtic or not. Maybe one day Celtic will be in the Premier League, and that's the discussion that I love to talk about on the channel. I love to bring it up and say, should we move from Scottish football? Does that mean that do we go in League One? Do we go in Championship? Do we start from League Two? Do we get this like hall pass into the Premier League? It's like for the club size we are, we should be in the Premier League. We should be paying that divorce bill to the Scottish FA and getting out of the league. It means that we're potentially missing out on European football or maybe 3 or 4 seasons. If it's going to benefit Celtic long term as a club, as a business, we could build a stadium up. We could attract even more fans. It'd be like, let's be honest, like you look at the likes of folks, I'd say out of 20 clubs, the current 20 clubs in English football in the Premier League, Celtic is bigger than 15 of them, 16 of them. Like got your Liverpool's, Man United. I still believe, even though Man City have more money, still believe Celtic is as big as Man City because of the fan base, the history. Man City have won their first European Cup because they have investment for the last decades, investment that they've tried and tried and tried. If Celtic had that money, look at the things we'd be doing. We could be doing a proper treble, like back in '67, But Man City will probably be investigated for FIFA fair play yet again. Do you think Ange will do well in the Premier League? I think if Spurs fans be patient and he makes a stance on the situation, I think, be honest with you, I think Ange should sit Harry Kane down and say, you don't want to play for me, or you don't want to play for me. If you don't want to play for me, move on, and we'll take the money because this is your remaining year, your contract. Like it just feels like Tottenham. Like if you watch the Tottenham documentary, Levy's constantly in the canteen when the likes of Pochettino and Mourinho were trying to conduct, talking about the squad, talking about players, talking about drills. He's constantly there. Like I know there's obviously interest from your chairman and whatever, but you let the guy go off and do his job. You don't need that pressure. Imagine like Lawwell being there 24/7 when Andrew's in the next now. It's not on like. Thanks for the continued videos. You're certainly welcome, Alex. If there's anything I could do putting up content wise, I will. As I said, this channel is very hard to do when you're doing it on your own. There's many Celtic channels out there that have teams of 3 or 4 people in the background, and the credit's due what they do. They do a good job on it. And the difference between my channel and other channels is it's all from the heart. It's my way or the highway. If people don't like it, they don't like it, they don't have to subscribe. I don't have a filter with me. I just say how it is, you know. That's it. Second chances. I think we think we all deserve second chances. At the end of the day, we all make mistakes, and he didn't he won an FA Cup. He got a couple of Europa League finishes, and he wasn't back then. Then he probably realised, you know what, the Celtic job's coming up. Andrew's leaving. This is the best way of me getting me head right, taking a step back from English football, start winning trophies again, start being loved by the fans, and it's a no brainer for him to go back there. A no brainer whatsoever. And the to the fans that are watching that don't like Brendan Rodgers, results will speak in your heart. Happiness of you Celtic winning will change and win about Rodgers in time. You know, he won't get that time. Well, he's at the end of a 4 year contract, John. So they will have to give him time. Spurs are going through so many managers in recent times. Like, just can't keep the likes of, like, they had Poch that got to the Champions League final. They had Mourinho, which is like one of the best managers of all time. They had obviously Conte, and Conte is a winner, and you couldn't even keep him. It's either a dressing room problem or it's a board problem with Tottenham. You know, worst possible news for Sefco. Smell the fear. Don't even care about Sefco. Don't care about them. At the end of the day, they're just a team. They're just a team. Just a team that think that they're bigger than they are with our 11-year history of their two major trophies. Like, leave them to it. They're skint. They owe too much money with lawsuits. I don't really care about them. Care about us moving forward. Any other questions, folks, before I leave? Keep them going. That's it. Lennon's linked with Marseille. Marseille are a good club. They're a massive club. Like, they're European Cup winners as well. They have a cracking stadium, the Verdodome. I look if that's how it pronounced. I don't know. I'm not sure. Um, the ultras are crazy though. Marseille demand a lot in French football, and obviously with PSG dominating, to be a Marseille fan is difficult at the moment. Um, should they haven't? That was the last time they actually won a European trophy. I think it's 1994, 1993. Um, Lenny going in there, it's a lot to ask, but they have a good squad. Marseille, they've a really good following as well. Um, let him go. Imagine Lenny trying to speak French like Joey Barton again. Should have went for Luis Enrique. No, I'm happy with Brendan Rodgers. Luis Enrique, good coach. Obviously, he's taking the PSG job. Um, no, no. I think I think Lennon. I just think Lennon and Celtic is that ship is well sailed, and I don't even think he'll ever manage Scottish football again because he's obviously done heaps. Obviously, Barry Robson's at Aberdeen at this moment of time. I just think if Lennon wants to get himself right, go to the Saudi League, get himself in the Saudi League, or get himself over to the MLS. It didn't work out from Auburn Cyprus. That's it. I'm fully behind the team. I'm fully behind Brendan. I've been fully behind Brendan since Andrews were rumored to leave anyway. And I know a lot of people are like, I'm mad, but he was the best on the table that we could offer. And we took him. He was on a free. He's on a lucrative contract. What else can you do? Manchester gave Ollie time. It just depends on the board, doesn't it? It really depends on the board, topic talker. It just depends on the shareholders, the board, the fans. And Ollie done well for his 4 seasons at Man United, but it just went down. It just went downhill. You know. Yeah, Collins. That's it. Like, The Saudi league that's where the money's at now. Look at Ronaldo, Benzema, Kante, Gerrard. Like they're all going to the Saudi league. What's his name? Ruben Neves as well. That's going to the Saudi league. Reportedly 60 million or something like that. So like it's crazy. It's crazy to think, and there will eventually down the line there will be breaches of FIFA fair play in these clubs. You know, because it's our UEFA's jurisdiction. You can't really do much about it. Like so, that league is going to get big, as Ronaldo said a couple of months ago. He thinks it's going to be in the top 5 leagues in the next couple of years. Would not be surprised. You know, there'll be another big name that be on there as well. Keep keep the Irish blood flowing through the famous Glasgow Celtic. That's it. You know, you don't get many. There's you don't get many Dublin people that support Celtic. It's all Man United, Liverpool. You know, we're all. It's great to go to a pub in Dublin, the Celtic pub, and sit there and talk to a fellow Dub that knows about Celtic. You know, it's rare. It's beautiful. You know, it's great. It's great to sit there and actually instead of having these sitting there and wearing it, just going to the pub and it's all Liverpool and Man U. Like, no, I've done that when I was a kid. Never again. Never again. But I'm a team, full time team since the age of 15. And would I ever support an English club ever again? Not a hope. Not a hope. Not a hope. I made the right decision and the best decision, you know. I'm shocked, Keith. Shocked about what? About that's what it is like in Dublin. Like everyone supports the EPL. I really hope the Green Brigades do not cause a toxic atmosphere at our parkhead and split the fan base. The only way to be cause toxic atmosphere if we're losing games. There's no point of causing negativity if we're winning games and things are good. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. That's for any fan base, any organization. Back the manager, back the club, back the team. Go out there and just be the 12th man. And let's just let the boys go out and win games. There's no point of causing a negative culture around the club because a manager's back that upset your feelings 4 years ago. 4 years ago. Move on from it. It's not 4 months ago. 4 years ago. You know, West Ham. What about West Ham? What about West Ham? David Moyes done well with West Ham. Well, anyways, folks, I'm going to leave it there. Great to see you all coming in. I know I decided last minute to pop on. Do watch the videos I uploaded today. If it's your first time watching the podcast, do subscribe as well. You know, at the end of the day, every portion of it, like people, I understand people's frustration, John, about Brendan coming back. A portion of fans doesn't speak for all of our fans. Remember that. And I can understand people are angry and frustrated at the moment, but as I said, my answer to it is time will heal wounds, and I'm sure the likes of the North Cove will get their head around it and realise, you know what, we move on from this. We need to back this man. There's no point of having bills and banners from different sets of fans. We're all one. We're all one. We all wear the badge. You know, we all love the Celtic Football Club. And there's no point in making a show of a negative show of something that's acting good. We're not that type of football club. It happened once during lockdown, and it was a horrible day at the Ross County result. And I don't want to see our club ever going like that again. You know, you know, you know. One organisation doesn't speak for us all. As I said, everybody's have the right to voice their opinion. They have the right to voice opinion, regardless if it's negative or it's positive. It's called free speech. And if we react in a way saying, well, I don't like that, or I don't like that, everybody's in their rights to say. But the only way we're going to move forward as a fan base is back a manager. Back a manager. Results will tell. Time will tell. Time will heal wounds. You know, are you going to sit there in the Champions League night and still be anti-Brendan? No. You know, so, no, like, I'm not going to criticize an organisation of fans because these organisation of fans raise money to help charities. They do charity events as well. they bring atmosphere to the stadium, and we can't just criticize one set of fans for one banner that's offend certain fans. You know, at the end of the day, we're all support one club, and it will take time. As I said, time will heal wounds, and I could understand the frustration. You know, that's it. That's it. As I said, organizations are not the voice of fans; they're voice of that organization, and fans that might agree with them a certain aspect. We're all entitled to our opinions. We're all entitled to our opinions at the end of the day. You have to ask the North Cove that, you know, you have to ask the North Cove why they tweeted that. They're not happy with the way the board came along with the appointment. They're not happy that Brendan came back, and that's their opinion. And my opinion is what I say from me speaking. I'm glad Brendan came back. I'm not gonna go against someone else's opinion and be angry at their opinion because that's what they feel like. At the end of the day, they're more what they're in their rights to say that they're not happy with the appointment. But the only way Brendan will get to win over them is by winning games. And that's why football is winning games. It's all a results business, you know. No, exactly. The Green Brigade done a lot for charity, and they still continue to do the food banks, still continue to keep the traditions of the club to help people that are struggling. And fair play to them. Fair play to them. You know, that's the most important thing. You know, we have a really good set of fans, regardless what corner the stadium is, or regardless the people that may not go to the game frequently. We all come together. We all support the same cause, and I just don't want people arguing with each other over an appointment of a manager. We need to be together. We need to be looking forward. As I said, we didn't finish second. We finished fourth. We won two of our trophies. We're into the Champions League. Should be stuff like that gives me the butterflies. That's what we should be looking at. You know, exactly. We all should be united going into this season, optimistic that we're going to smash them. We're going to bury them. They're going to go broke, and we're just going to keep dominating Scottish football. You need to have that confidence. You need to have that confidence. As I said, fans will be angry. Fans will voice their opinions, and that's sports. It happens in AFL. It happens in all sorts of sports. You know, even you know the NFL, NHL. You know, these people are paying money to voice their opinion, and are the club going to make a change because Brendan's coming in the door because certain fans don't want him in? No, no, no. They're doing it as a business perspective. They know that he's the best man by CV, and he knows that he's been in the club, and he knows how to win. He knows how to win. If he didn't win 7 trophies with Celtic and he only won one trophy and we took him back, yes, I'd be like, he's not good enough to be the manager. You know, he's won 7 trophies and 69 games unbeaten. You know, when he first came in, people were creaming their pants, delighted to have him. Open arms. Yeah, I'm not opening arms that he's here again. I'm happy. I think it's the right decision. I think it's the right decision. And my honest opinion is get behind the team. You know, I got corrected the other day because I said he's one of the best managers in British football. Because he is. In this current moment, he is. Out of the managers out there, you know, in the English Premier League, the Scottish League, you know, like Sir Alex is always going to be up there as in the best. Jock Steyn's going to be up there. Matt Busby, Bill Shankly, you know, really good managers, elite managers. But Brendan has a lot of work to do to ever consider himself. He has to win a Champions League. He has to win, you know, and I think he will use Celtic as a stepping stone to get his career back on track. And it benefits us because if we're winning trophies and he's turning clubs down and he does his 3 years, what else can you ask for? What else can you ask for? You know? Dundee. Was it Dundee manager? Ronnie. Oh, Ronnie. Oh, Ronnie. God bless Ronnie Dolly. But Ronnie's in Club Brewers at the moment, living the life in Belgium. So, folks, that's really it from me. Do take care. Do subscribe to the channel. I'll be back in the next couple of days. More stuff comes out. We'll have a chat. So, speak to us all soon. Hello.